And let's head on up to Orlando, where hopefully John's been hanging on. He's been having some phone issues. Go ahead, John.
Hey, Larry. Thanks for taking the call. So we have a new driver in the family. So one of the things we're looking at is we got a 2013 Toyota Tacoma. It's the V6 four-wheel drive. It's been a great car. We've had it for about 6 months now. But what we've noticed is when you're not going very fast and the RPMs drop, there's almost like a shudder. So I don't know if that's something that may just be normal to this car since we've had it for a long time, or if there could be maybe a fuel system build-up issue or something like that, or if that's anything you've heard of.
Now you're saying that it's at a lower speed that you're having the issue.
Correct.
Wide open throttle, it's got all the power in the world.
No problem at all.
Okay. John, those are symptoms of restricted fuel injectors, believe it or not. What happens is when you get that real light acceleration and it feels more or less like it's kind of hunting, that it's just not transitioning nice and smooth, that's usually an indication that there's some injectors that are somewhat restricted. See, when you're wide open throttle, you've got a lot of other issues that are coming into play there with as far as timing and it's making the injector pulse as wide as it can get, so it's trying to overcome any restriction at that point. But at a lower RPM, if you get it to where it's not smooth and you got a little bit of almost like a light misfire kind of taking place there, that's usually a lean situation where it's just not getting enough fuel. There could be something as minor as a contaminated mass airflow sensor that actually measures the amount of air coming into the engine. If you don't have a check engine light, these are things that we could actually look at by looking at the data stream of the vehicle to see how it's measuring the air. Sometimes those mass airflow sensors can get contaminated and, at a lower RPM or a lower intake air volume, it can't measure at 100% correctly and the engine can go too lean because of that as well. But if it's good, if the mass air is good and clean and the heated wire in it, which is what transitions to the computer by resistances to let it know what type of injector pulse to present for fuel, if it looks okay, then my advice would be maybe try cleaning on the injectors and see what happens. Even before this, you might want to get a good fuel injection cleaner. We use the Amsoil PI is our primary one that we use to add to fuel, into your tank itself. You may want to try something like that. Just see if it gets a little better or not. If it doesn't, then have them professionally pressure cleaned and see what happens. But keep in mind, one of the things, and this is things that most your average person doesn't know, but if you were to go and let's say buy a fuel injector for that vehicle from the dealer, it's probably going to be bordering $400 a piece. And the thing is, what really gets crazy here is we can order these injectors from like Hungary, which are the manufacturer for the OE, meaning they're the ones actually making them for like Toyota or Ford or something along those lines, different car manufacturers. They manufacture them for the original equipment, but they can't label them as Motorcraft or Toyota or Lexus. So we have to buy them, basically unnamed, but they're the manufacturer for the original equipment manufacturers. And we can buy these things so inexpensively, a lot of times it's almost just worth replacing injectors if you have restricted injectors, especially on the direct injection systems because of all the heat that they encounter in the combustion chamber. So, it just, if you go to the dealer and somebody tells you, hey, you need to spend $3,000 for new injectors, it's not like that. If you buy the original equipment ones that says the manufacturer's name on them, which they probably don't anyway, they might come in an original manufacturer's box, but to pay what these dealers want for these injectors are absolutely crazy. So, in a case like that, you might want to have them try to clean them. Try some fuel injection cleaner to put it in your tank. If that don't work, maybe try cleaning them. But if you do have to have the injectors replaced, like I said, getting them from out of the country is usually the best bet because they can be purchased very, very affordably. We appreciate your call, and I hope that gives you a hand there.